And welcome back to the Unfiltered Sports Weekly. I'm the Beebs.
Keb is here.
Man, we're missing someone.
Yeah, fuck that guy. He didn't even send a text message.
No, he
Like,
didn't even
hey,
send a
hey,
text
hey,
message. Hey guys,
yeah,
pull it
have a good
together.
show. Yeah, have a good
Yeah,
show.
I know I'm not
You
going to
know,
be there. Your most important person, but
you know what? So, but he's here not to defend himself. So let's talk shit about him. Real quick, did you listen to Nailed It?
I did, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, right. How could you not enjoy it if your name is Beebs? It was a love letter to you.
That's not why I loved it, but
It was stroke the ego of Beebs time.
yeah, well,
I thought
it's
it was a
okay.
nice
The
episode.
the Beebs only has like 16 listeners on his entire show, so
Yeah.
it's not that big of a deal.
I thought it was a nice episode. I never get the Keb is a nice guy episode probably because I'm not.
Oh, I think you've gotten the Keb is a nice guy episode. I gave you a
Uh,
really nice shout out on my show,
yeah, and
and
that was nice. Thank you. Yes, I did hear that, and it wasn't 7 minutes this time. It was 11.
yeah,
You know,
I'm working my way back up in
and
increments.
I'm counting. I keep telling you that particular morning I have a 30-minute drive,
Hmm.
and I need something to because you're the thing is of the network that we're on. I think you're the only guy that comes out on Thursday, right?
Yeah, I might be. No, well, no. Hypno Wellness does. Like it's
No,
their
she comes
second.
out on Wednesday.
Right, but doesn't she have a second episode
I
on
don't think she
Thursday?
does two anymore.
Oh,
I think she just does the one.
I do see her. I think I see one to share for her on Thursdays.
Well, I think 12th Street Talkback's on Thursday too,
Oh, maybe.
or maybe that's Monday,
Maybe
Wednesday,
I just get
Friday.
my days mixed up. Tell you the truth.
Maybe we should learn these things since we're kind of
Yeah,
are part of the
we
network.
should. We should.
You know, it
All right.
seems to me that the guys over at KJNA have like an episode come out like every other day, or maybe I'm just that behind on listening.
No, no. I feel like I'm sharing something for them every other day.
Yeah, I mean they have a
Yeah.
lot of episodes that come out.
So
You know,
I got a personal question for you.
sure. I like personal questions.
Um, how do you feel about nepotism?
Well, in the 80s, the Supreme Court said, I'm not trying to be funny here, this is true. In the 80s, the Supreme Court said that nepotism not only is it legal, that it's good for the economy. You know,
Hmm.
however, if you're getting at what I'm getting at, I'm against it. And
Okay.
I'm not so much against, like, if you have a job and you want your son to come and work for you, that's all fine and dandy. You
Well,
know what I'm
if
saying?
you're running the business, sure.
Right. But I don't think a good father should stack the deck for his kid because his kid's not going to learn anything nor appreciate anything.
Yeah. So you know what I'm getting at, right?
I know exactly what you're getting at.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
So you brought up before the show. You brought up the NBA draft combine. Were you watching it?
I gave it the due attention it deserves, and I out of sheer curiosity because the last time that I saw this person play, he had 4.8 points.
Yeah.
And I was not impressed at all.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, not at all. I mean, to put that into perspective, there's a guy from the Timberwolves the other night had 4.8 points in the first like 30 seconds of the game. You
Yeah,
know,
but that guy's really good.
he's not from
Really good.
America,
Right.
or at least his name's not. But I actually watched a little NBA against my will because
Against your will.
I was waiting for a rain delay
Oh yeah.
to end in New York,
Hmm.
and so everybody was hemming and hawing about the New York Knicks, right?
Yeah. They look good this year.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I mean it's about fucking time, right?
Yeah, we got Knicks listeners. My question is how we can have so many people watching last week and not
Yeah.
have anybody watching this week.
Well, they're like L.A. Dodger fans. They come late. they come late and they don't say shit. They're just exactly like LA Dodger fans. They
Yeah.
don't. And like the Dodgers, not unlike the Braves, they make the playoffs. They get beat in the first round. You know,
So, of the draft combine, who did you see? What players?
I saw Bronny James. That's who I saw. I saw him jump, and then I saw him do a drill that was, I gotta say, pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But there's no one in his fucking face.
Well,
I
anybody
mean,
anybody can make a jump shot with nobody in your face.
yeah, but see, you can't play in the NBA without being a shooter. Now, I did see. Oh, I almost like saved this and played it for you here. I almost did. I saw. I don't know who was playing. It looked like it was. It was definitely an NBA game because they weren't playing defense, and it was just
Sure.
like these two guys were like passing it down. I mean, it just looked like a scrimmage. I mean, you played organized basketball, right?
Yes.
Okay, you remember at like the end of practice when you were scrimmaging and there's people they just wanted to leave, and so it was just like let the other team score.
Well, yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're
Yeah,
saying. Yeah.
that's what it looked like, but it was in the middle of the third quarter.
Yeah, I wonder, especially NBA teams, they get into the middle of that third quarter, and it's almost like we got nothing to play for right now. Like we're just kind of just waiting until the fourth
Yeah,
quarter.
it was the Cavs game. That I
Right.
just looked at. Yeah, it's the Cavs game.
They got stoned by the Celtics the other night. So
The
might have been
Celtics
last
gonna
night.
win the whole thing.
Mm, there's a couple teams in the West that'll have something to say about it.
Nuggets.
I, the Nugget, I tell you what, they're in a dogfight right now with the Timberwolves. I mean, that is a team that it. I wouldn't want to play them. They have some players now. They didn't used to ever have players. You know what I mean? They didn't used to be able to win, but they
Didn't
have a
they win it
lineup now.
like 3 years ago?
No, that was the Bucks.
Oh yeah.
But
Same thing.
The T Wolves have been kind of knocking on the playoff door for several years, but they can barely get in as like an 8 or a 9 seed, in the playoff or whatever. But this year they have Anthony Edwards. That
Yeah.
dude can fly. I mean, he can play.
So, is there any truth to the rumor you think that the Dallas Mavericks are going after LeBron?
I have no idea. I would not want LeBron James on my team. Period.
Yeah,
Do,
why?
do you know
Because
why?
I just asked you why.
You'd have to draft his son.
Yeah.
You would have to
And,
draft his son.
and are you of the opinion that his son is not good?
So I watched him play. Um, he played for USC last year, and during like the tournament time when they were playing the conference tournaments, I watched a little bit of the Pac. Well, I guess it doesn't exist anymore, but the Pac-12 tournament, and he played for USC, and USC was terrible, terrible, and he couldn't even start on a terrible team. So when I watched him, I thought the only reason this guy is on the team, I he let's just say he's not the barnstorming uh, star his father was at this point in his career. And from what I could see, he doesn't look like he's ever going to be that. Could he end up being a nice bench rotational player in the NBA at some point in his life? I think so. He has the height, he has the strength, he has the athleticism. But my question is if his dad was not LeBron James, would he even be playing college ball?
Yeah.
That was the question I was found myself asking because he's not even starting for a terrible USC team. Okay. No one even talked about the USC team. Like he's the most exciting thing to happen to USC basketball in a decade. And they never even talked about him. He was on the court and you would never even know he was there. That's how exciting he was to watch. So, do I think that he's ready for the NBA right now? No, I don't. And the replays that I saw from the NBA draft, um, the shots he was taking and the dribbles he was doing. I see a nice physical, athletic person there who I could find probably 20 or 30 other players that look exactly like him and play exactly like him. There's nothing to me that sets him high above anybody else. Shocking to me, the news that came out saying that he will not transfer to another college team. He is only shooting for the draft. This is it for him. This is it. And so what that tells me is there's an agreement behind closed doors that somebody's going to draft Bronny James.
And do you think it's going to be the Lakers?
It'll be whatever team dad's on
Okay.
because that will sell,
And
right?
Dad's contract's up, right?
Dad's contract needs to be canceled. He is the reason the Lakers have been so bad. He doesn't play defense anymore. Not like he used to.
Have you ever seen the movie The Dark Knight?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a line in that
One of the
movie.
best movies I've ever seen.
It is, in my opinion, the best superhero movie. But
Yeah.
there's a line in that movie that you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
He's
You know,
become
and
the
that's
villain.
that's LeBron in a nutshell.
The man it's hard when you're at the pinnacle of the sport, and I will say LeBron James for a time was at the pinnacle of the sport probably 10 years. For 10 years he was probably at the pinnacle of the sport. But when you're at the pinnacle of the sport and then you start the downhill slide like he's on, like he's not I'm not saying he's bad. He's one of the top 10 players probably right now, maybe 9 or 10. But there are 9 other players above him probably, in the NBA as far as talent is concerned, and you're paying him more money than them just simply because he has the name LeBron James. And that team, the reason that LA team is terrible and their lineup looks the way it does is because they pay him that much money. And they also pay Anthony Davis a ton of money. And there's no money to pay anybody else. That's why their team looks the way it does. And also you're paying him a ton of money to not play defense ever. The only defense you get out of LeBron James is I'm going to hustle down the floor once and make a block off the backboard from behind somebody. Maybe once or twice a week. The rest of the time, like that's been his LA Lakers theme is I'm not going to I want to play on offense, but I'm never going to really hustle on defense again.
Here's a guy that's after my heart right here.
Yeah.
You know?
Look, prior to when he went to the Heat.
I meant the commenter.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Not LeBron James. I think he's a fucking joke too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he wasn't. That might hang up real quick. What you remember when at Jordan at the end of his career, and he went to the Wizards, and we were just like, dude, you need to hang it up,
Yeah.
It's kind of getting to that point, and to tell you the truth, Tiger's kind of getting to that point too.
Yeah, I mean he's like a sideshow, you know what I mean? But this comment I don't agree with. Okay. It was a joke that he went to Miami, but he was
it wasn't a joke that he went to Miami.
Right.
It was a joke of how he went to Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the narcissistic television show, 30 minutes, we got to wait until the fucking end to find out where you're going. And really, I mean, who gives a fuck? And then they get down there and they have like a show in the arena with him and Dwayne Wade and and I mean, I'll tell you who was a really good fucking player on that fucking team was Ray Allen.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they never would have won titles without him. But I will say that when he was in Miami with that team, he was the best player on the planet.
Sure.
He was for that time. But I will say, and then when he went back to Cleveland and won that big title in Cleveland against the Warriors, only person ever to come back from 3-1 down in an NBA Finals and win a Finals, against the Golden State Warriors. I get it. He wasn't the only player on the team. Obviously, they had good players alongside him. But I would say after he won that last title in Cleveland, that was it. That was it. And I would say I definitely agree that his title chasing and I'm going to go. And when I arrive, you're going to do whatever I tell you to. That type of attitude is a joke. I do not think players should have that type of power. But it appears to me right now that they do.
Well, I think that's the environment of the NBA.
Yeah.
Right now, and I think that me included, that's what turns it off. I mean, if we go to this comment here, Jordan, Kobe, Bird, those are the goats. I mean, I would raise you a Magic Johnson. I would raise you a Hakeem Olajuwon. And how can I mean, Jordan, Kobe, Bird, all those. Who's the best big man ever? Is it
Wilt
Kareem?
Chamberlain.
Is it
Wilt
Wilt?
Chamberlain.
But Kareem's in the conversation.
Oh, Kareem is. Look, Kareem. Those him and those three guys are those two guys, and add Bill Russell into the conversation.
I'm going to add one more, and you're going to say he doesn't belong with those, but I'm going to add Shaquille O'Neal.
No, Shaq. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I think he does. I would say they all kind
and
of
the
brought.
most entertaining big man is
Yeah,
Shaquille.
I would say they all brought their own level of play or their own
Sure.
style. Definitely Shaq. You know, he had his own. He had his own style. I mean, like you knew he was. Let's just say, you knew he was on the floor. Let's put it that way. You
Yeah,
knew he was getting the ball, and
yeah,
I would tell you, Akeem Olajuwon. Never seen a big man move like Akeem Olajuwon.
yeah.
That man could score in so many different ways; it was unreal. But as far as pure athleticism and giftedness, the, the stories that I've heard, read, listened to about Wilt Chamberlain, he could high jump 7 feet.
All right.
I mean, granted, he's 7 feet tall, but to high jump 7 feet as a person that tall is incredible. You got to get your whole body over that bar. Okay,
Mm, sure.
it's not just leaning over the top of it and falling or something like that. You literally have to jump. And those guys who can high jump 7 feet, they're no joke. Okay,
Mm,
so I would say it is a toss up. The goats, that all been mentioned, I still think Michael Jordan was the best pure basketball player of all time. The I'm going to beat you no matter what type of ball player. You know,
uh,
um,
I'll tell you a great. If you ever watch interviews with Shaquille O'Neal, a great story that he tells. Shaquille was a big trash talker on the court, right?
yeah,
And there was one time he was going up against Yao Ming, and he's like, I'm not going to talk trash tonight because he's not going to understand me, right? And so they're going up and down the court, up and down the court, and it's just quiet and all this, and and Yao Ming makes a good shot, and Shaq kind of says under his breath, but loud enough so people could hear him. He's like, "Oh man, that's a good shot," and Yao Ming goes, "Thanks, Shaq."
what's funny is once Yao Ming suffered that, I think he had a foot injury, right?
Yeah.
Guy was quite a player,
Huh?
really. He was. He was a pretty good player, that guy. But all that said, back to the Bronny James discussion. I
Okay.
do not want to sign LeBron James because you're going to get his kid too, and I don't think
Yeah.
his kid's good enough right now to play in the NBA. I think he needs to play 4 years in college. He's that. I
Well,
mean, like he's that player. Like he
what
needs to
if
play 4 years in college.
what if you're like a franchise though that needs like a kind of kick in the ass, like the Hawks or something like that. That they need something, that just could, you know, get them a
You
little
think
pub.
you think LeBron James is going to Atlanta?
No, I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah,
Or I mean, I wouldn't think he would go to Dallas either. You know,
man. I mean, say that said, once Kevin Durant left OKC, I never saw him going to a small franchise team, but then he ended up in Phoenix.
right?
Stayed there for a while. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Anything can happen now. Small market
That's,
teams you can get your
yeah.
market anywhere now. I mean, it doesn't, I don't know, but I do think his time in LA, it's not going to be over because LA says it's over. It's going to be over because he says it's over, and he's going to want to chase that last title. And he probably is starting to realize that, hey, I want another title. I need to go somewhere else. But the problem is, if he goes somewhere else and he takes the max, then the team that he goes to is not going to have a very good lineup. That's the problem. And then they're gonna waste a draft pick on his son. So, um,
So, so do you think that the Celtics are going to win it all?
I think they certainly have the lineup to win it all. Um, the problem is, I think they're gonna have to play Denver, and we already know how that finished. The first time. I don't. If it's not Denver, then sure, I think they could win. If they end up playing against someone like OKC or someone like that in the far, the Timberwolves or something like that in the finals, or Dallas,
Right.
I think they'll win it. And the reason is because they won't be playing against Jokic, and guys who know that they can, you know, who know they can beat the Celtics.
Now, let me ask you this, and I'm gonna point some out. You may or may not know it, but I listen to local sports talk radio basically all day long, and it's the only reason that I know this because if there's anything more ridiculous that I think than the NBA, it's the NHL. And to make my point for me, would you consider the Boston Bruins a storied NHL franchise?
Absolutely,
They are
100%.
getting their fucking ass handed to them by the Florida Panthers, who are up 3-1 in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Now the Bruins are winning tonight 2-1, and they're in the third period. Which why
Yeah.
they have 3 periods? It's beyond me.
Okay, but
Because it's
the
just,
Florida Panthers have won the NHL title like 3 years in a row, right?
I thought that was the Lightning.
Maybe it was Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I don't think Florida's won it. Hey,
Uh,
somebody listening, if you're a hockey fan, chime in. If the Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup, Sleevey, I know you watch the NHL. You have nothing better to do up there in the cold of New Jersey than
no,
watch fucking hockey.
they've been in the finals twice and lost both times.
Okay, but the
I got them
Lightning
mixed
have
up
won.
with
The Lightning have
Tampa
won the
Bay.
cup. Yeah.
I would say Tampa Bay, you could probably say, is a storied franchise. It's a storied franchise now, right? I mean, they've won so many, finals in the
Do you
last.
not think it's funny though to have these team? I
Yeah.
mean, they're all from Canada anyway.
Well, didn't Vegas have a
And like
team?
their first, you
Yeah.
talk about parody. I mean, if you were to Vegas was an expansion team. That wasn't a team that moved. That
Right.
was an expansion team.
Yep.
So if you were to give the NFL an expansion, I mean, Jacksonville was an expansion team, 4-12. There you go.
Right.
Have a good time. But it's very rare for an expansion team in any professional sport to win right out of the gate.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
And I just think it's funny in hockey where they have. If there's a listener out there and you're a hockey fan, can you please comment and explain to us in detail, like we're to the icing rule? Because nobody really knows. Yeah, I can ask 10 people, I get 10 different answers.
Yeah, it's a little different than the offsides rule in soccer, right?
And so those people who say that soccer and hockey are the same thing, no, they're not. One's played on grass, one's played on ice. One has a ball.
Well, there's not two blue lines in soccer.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, try to make the comparisons. Now if soccer players had sticks,
That's
that
called
would
field
be
hockey.
that would be kind of cool.
Isn't that
and
field
then
hockey or lacrosse?
I just want them in hockey one time to stop in the middle of the ice and take their sticks and have a sword fight, like Star Wars style, like on Star Wars night.
Yeah, it's actually making me think of. Do you remember a time back in late '90s, maybe early 2000s? There was a guy named Marty McSorley, and he skated up behind a dude and literally clubbed him in the head, like full
with the
baseball
stick.
swing with a stick, and knocked him out cold on the ice. And there's
See,
it was
that's
chaos.
what hockey's all about,
Yeah.
right there.
I
That's
think he
what
was
I'm
removed from the
talking about.
NHL for that forever.
Yeah.
So
Do you remember what it was? It was, I think it was the late '90s again, where the two goalies met up and
yeah,
started
Patrick
fighting.
Waugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that was awesome. That's I see. You're talking about there was a time frame. We're talking classic hockey, right?
Yeah.
There was a time frame.
Before the strike, and they had to take all
Right.
these rules and revamp it. Back when they, like when Gretzky played, like helmets were optional.
Right.
Like they didn't have to wear a helmet. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Shine the fact that one little push and their head's hitting the ice.
Right.
I mean, they're on skates, but they didn't have like back when I was growing up, and I grew up in Florida, so we didn't really, we don't watch hockey. Ice melts here, so.
Right.
But yeah, I know who Wayne Gretzky is. I know who Gordie Howe is. These people you watch. I mean, we had Sports Center.
Yeah. No, actually, some of the hockey fights, that were had back then, you'd watch the replay and you're like, oh my gosh, that is
Yeah.
brutal. I mean, like blood all over the ice. But all right, so here is my next question.
No, one second before we get off on the hockey. The reason that I liked it in the '80s was because on Nintendo you had the hockey game where you can make a fight,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So that was cool. That was a cool game.
They actually did club each other with sticks in that one.
Yeah,
Right.
And then like if you like got like into a fight, it zeroed in, and it was like kind of like Mortal Kombat but hockey. It was really cool.
Yeah,
I love that game. I miss that game.
So here is my next question. Overnight, last night, or at least breaking news this morning, the Detroit Lions paid Jared Goff a king's ransom to stay in Detroit and play quarterback. Do you think Jared Goff is worth $53 million a year?
I saw that late last night, and it's kind of like nobody's perfect. No man or no woman's perfect, but it's whether you're perfect for one another.
Yeah.
I think that Jared Goff is a really good player in the Lions system. And if they're going to continue to have that system, I mean, it's worked. And if they're going to continue to have that system, I think they wanted to lock him up. And they already let a really good quarterback leave, get out of there, and the guy they got him for, that it is unlucky as that franchise has been. They've had some really good quarterbacks.
Well, and I think they're going to have a really good team next year.
Sure,
they're going to be good again next year. And
sure.
I see. It's not next year that's going to be the issue. It's the years following it, because the money.
Right.
It's never that first year. It's always a couple years later where, okay, we don't have money anymore to buy anybody else because we spent it all on one player. Those are the issues they're going to have to overcome. And I'm trying to think of the last. Is that the highest paid quarterback in the NFL right now?
No. Patrick Mahomes is the highest paid. He is the highest paid Detroit Lions player ever.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe Mahomes and Cousins are up there. And that's a whole different thing. In Atlanta, they got some hurt feelings going on there.
So here's what I say. I don't know that Jared Goff is a high enough performer that he's worth that type of money. But that is what the market's calling for right now, isn't it? In the NFL. I mean, Trevor Lawrence.
It is.
Well, you think Trevor Lawrence gets a contract like that if he comes out and has a banger year?
He's got to have, I'm talking fucking 15 wins. The problem with the Jags this year, and the problem that the Chicago Bears are going to run into, is we are on the paying end of having the year that we had 2 first-round draft picks, because we had Trevor Lawrence and then Travis Etienne in the first round.
Yeah.
So if we want to keep both of them, you got to pay them both in the same year. Chicago,
maybe both.
Chicago had, they've got not only 2 first round picks this year, but 2 top 10 picks. and they're come 4 years down the line, pick up a 5th-year option or whatever, they're going to have to pay them. Interesting article I read the other day is that if Trevor Lawrence doesn't have a good year and the Jags decide to cut ties and go in the draft, which I don't know who they would get. I mean, Shador Sanders, I don't know. I swear to God, if the Jags draft Shador Sanders, I'm gonna open up my box of Atlanta Falcons stuff.
Yeah.
But you talk about an overrated player. You could put Shador Sanders and Bronny James probably in the same box.
I actually want to bring up, you're absolutely right. I want to remind you that TCU played Colorado, like first or second game of the season, and Colorado beat them in like overtime or something like that.
And
everybody was freaking out, and I'm like, I watch TCU every year. They're not. I mean, they lost all their players. They're not going to be very good. And TCU went like 4-7, and then after that win, Colorado won 2 or 3 more games. And then Daddy kept saying, "Oh well, Shadur's always on the run. He's never able to be comfortable in the pocket." I'm like, "You're a coach in the NCAA. Okay, you're making excuses for your son. We watched him play. He can throw the ball a little bit, but you're definitely padding his stats. That's one thing. You're letting him throw the ball all over the field on purpose. Pretty sure he doesn't quite have the arm for it. I think he can run. I think he can definitely run with the ball. I know he can throw and sling the ball a little bit, but is he a number 1 NFL draft pick in the making? I did not see that.
Do you know in that system in that Colorado is Dion calling the plays?
I don't know who's calling plays
because that wouldn't make sense because Dion was a defensive player.
Dion was responsible for the worst recruiting class Colorado's ever seen.
Sure.
He signed 7 players.
Right, but with the transfer portal the way that it is, I mean, do you really have to have that good of a recruiting class?
No, but you're going to want some recruits. You know what I mean? Like, what that's saying is you don't care about... You want mercenaries on your team, right? You want 1-year guys. That's what you're saying. I want 1-year guys, and so we're going to sell out for 1-year guys, and then we're going to do it all again next year, and we're going to get rid of so like what that tells you is the players on the team, they're like, okay, I'm here for a year and then I'm gone. So what kind of culture are you building?
Right.
But I suppose you could say that's what the transfer portal's done. I feel like there's some rules coming.
There's got to be. I mean, it's getting out of control.
I noticed that there were some comments out of LSU. The LSU coach, he was saying that
Brian Kelly is his name.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, I just remember the angry guy from Notre Dame. Anyway, so
Brian Kelly was his name too.
Yeah, I know. Same guy.
Okay. Yeah, same dude.
But he was saying how LSU didn't want to just sign players that all they wanted to talk about was money. He said that's not what we want. We don't want to talk. We don't want to talk to guys who all they care about is money because we don't feel like that's right for the team. And I thought, wow, that's pretty brave for a coach from LSU to be doing that. And in the culture that we're in right now, that's all the players want. That's what they care about. They care about.
Well, they say that's why Saban hung it up.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Was because of the mentality of these. Give it to me now. They want to do the least for the most amount of money.
Right. Which, I mean, as a teacher, I see that all the time. The comments I get, I'll have 2 or 3 students walk in and be like, "Are we doing work today?" And be like, yeah. And then we'll be taking notes. We're like, "Is this important? Do I have to write this down? Do I have to take notes?" It's like, if you want to remember it, you should probably take notes. Right now, you're asking me, what is the least amount of work I can do and still pass? When the question you should be asking is, what kind of work do I need to do in order to, get the highest grade I can possibly get?
I ask the soon to be world famous wife this all the time. I'm gonna ask you because her answer is always like they're third graders. But you're a little older. Do you
Right.
ever they ask a question like that and just be like, if I were you, I would assume that everything is going to be on the test.
I
You
no, that's
know,
exactly my thing is that here's the question I get. Is this going to be graded? Is this for a grade?
the
If I
minute you walk
say
in that fucking door,
right,
everything that you do is
it's
graded.
for a grade. Yep.
Yeah,
And that's exactly what
everything.
my approach is too, because they get a participation grade on top of their assignment. So it's like the answer I give them is, what have I told you a million times? A million times I've told you this. Everything is graded in my class. Everything.
Dude, if I were a teacher, okay, and I'm not, okay,
Right.
but if I were, do you know how many more people they would have to hire down at HR?
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah.
because I would like literally, I'd be sitting in the faculty lounge and I'd be like, I'm gonna make this kid cry today.
My favorite one was I
Yeah,
think I almost made one cry the other day. We had 2.5 weeks left of school,
yeah,
but I still haven't finished my curriculum. I still have to finish the chapter on, I teach history, Civil War, up to the Civil War
yeah.
and into Reconstruction. So I haven't finished the chapter on Reconstruction. And so I'm like, we're taking notes. I'm going through PowerPoints. I'm giving them, hey, I'm giving them assignments. And they're like, why are you doing this, Mr. B? Why are you doing this? We've only got 2.5 weeks left. And I said, my reply was to them, look, there's 2.5 weeks left. You're asking the wrong question. The question is you're going to want to give up right at the finish line. You
Yeah,
don't want to, you're going to give up right as we're about to finish.
yeah.
Well, I'm going in this class. Well, I could end up being a B.
Hey, I got an idea for that guy. If you ask me stupid questions like that again, kid, I'm gonna make you memorize and recite in front of the class the Gettysburg Address.
Or the preamble, something like that, right?
Yeah,
No,
I mean, the or I mean, just something dumb.
yeah,
Like if you could tell me when in the course of human events, what's that from? And I'd be like, I don't know.
right.
Anyhow, not to get off of
No, but I
what
mean
we were
that is the
talking about.
mentality. That's the same mentality.
Yeah,
The one I from a former job I used to work with junior hires, right? They always ask, well, if I get this right, can I have a cookie or something? And I'm like, so you want me to reward you for doing something you should do, reasonably no matter what,
yeah,
right?
but that gets back into, I don't know if you remember a couple weeks ago, St. Joe was trying to make the point that Scotty Scheffler, we shouldn't be like hooting and hollering about him because that's his job.
Sure.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And we were kind of hooting and hollering about him because he's impressive, and St. Joe was making the point that that's his job.
Sure, it's his job, but he does his job better than everybody else does their job on the planet. That's a different category altogether than a junior hire doing
Hey
something they
man,
should do.
I'm not saying he was right. I'm just pulling up that that's a similar circumstance.
I don't know. I mean, like in the circumstance, we would say, "Oh, Scotty Scheffler made par." Isn't that something you should do as a professional golfer? Should we give you a cookie because you
Yeah,
you made par?
I think par is a hell of a score.
Oh, I agree, but
I mean,
it doesn't win you
comparatively
any doesn't win
speaking,
you any prizes in the PGA Tour, though.
it's like those bowlers that bowl 300. Like the highest I ever bowled one time, I bowled a 211, and I thought I was the fucking man. I mean, it. And do you know what like a 211 is? It's like a bunch of strikes and like a bunch of spares. You
Yeah,
know,
my highest score was a 282.
Okay, so
Hmm.
like if you're over 200, you're bowling a pretty good game.
Yeah,
I mean, you really for the novice people who play once a year,
right.
twice a year, and me, you're probably like 6, 7 pitchers in, It's probably why you bowl better because you don't give a fuck,
Right.
and you're not like overthinking it. But then competitiveness kicks in, and you're just like if you're playing like but my point is you get a better appreciation when you see like I played with you guys, but I had the opportunity to play golf with somebody who was like a scratch golfer. And I think you find yourself playing better when you play with those guys, because I don't know if you're paying more attention or if the pressure's off. This guy's going to kill me anyway, you know. But
Well, let's say rising tide, or a rising tide raises all ships, that kind of thing. So like one of the things
what?
well,
Is
so
this
when it
are you getting into your flat Earth propaganda?
yeah. No, one of the things I've experienced is kind of like what you're saying is like I play better on the harder courses actually. So like the harder courses make you focus a little bit more and you score a little bit better. It's kind of strange. I don't know, but that may not be true for everybody. But that's what my experience is. But anyway, um, all that said, I had one more question because you did bring up a couple obscure sports,
Sorry,
and the Olympics are coming up.
they are
My question for you is: are there any sports? Well, maybe you wouldn't call them sports. Are there any like
events.
hobby activities, whatever you would call them, that aren't considered sports right now that you think should be considered sports?
Um. Okay, so like in the Olympics or just in general?
Just like a recognized, I guess you could say the Olympics. Sure.
Okay.
I guess that's how you kind of determine what a sport is in some ways, right?
Okay. So hobbies, activities. I think before too long, I mean, they put fucking skateboarding in, dude. If you put skateboarding in, I think before too long, you're going to see cornhole be in the Olympics.
Look, man, those dudes who play cornhole,
That's a. I mean, I've played at a competitive level,
yeah,
and there are. It's kind of like swimming. Like there are good swimmers, and then there's Michael Phelps.
right.
I mean, there are people in cornhole that throw at a board that's 27 feet across, and don't miss ever.
Ever. Right. Ever.
They don't
Hmm.
miss. And I think it's going to be an Olympics. I mean, if they're putting fucking pickleball in, I mean, pickleball and cornhole, I put in kind of the same box.
Yeah.
You know,
Is pickleball going to be in the Olympics?
I don't know, but I saw a
Man,
good.
it's becoming a thing. I mean, it
I
really is.
I saw a great iteration of pickleball the other day where they put up glass walls around the
Yeah, and
pickleball.
it
It was
bounces
like
back. Yeah.
it was like a version of racquetball versus pickleball and
Yeah.
pickleball. It was awesome. And then I saw another iteration where they raised they raised the net to like badminton level, like volleyball level,
Yeah.
and they had to go over it. You
That would
know,
change it. That would change the game. Yeah,
sure,
absolutely. So, I mean, like badminton is an Olympic sport.
sure, but that's
So,
tradition though. Here's a trivia question. What is the everybody calls it a birdie? What's the actual name of it?
a shuttlecock.
That is correct.
Hmm.
Don't come and talk to me about your shuttlecock.
All right. So, have you watched the Olympic badminton? Have you watched it?
I mean, I mean before, yeah. I mean, I don't.
They smash the hell out of that shuttlecock.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know if that's great. Like, I don't, half the time you can't even see it.
yeah. They
That's how
work
fast
that
it's moving.
fucking shuttlecock too.
Yeah.
They work it too.
Yeah.
You know,
So there
yeah.
is one sport that nobody ever brings up, but I think frisbee golf should be considered.
I, there that takes some. You ever played it?
I have. It's impossible. It's
It
really hard.
is,
So,
and it's surprisingly tiring.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of but yeah, some people love that shit. Here on Bay Meadows Road, it's a major thoroughfare. They shut down the old Bay Meadows golf course and turned it into a disc golf.
yeah. I have a
Yeah,
friend who's really good at it, and
yeah,
I can tell you that it takes a lot of. It's because they got these. They've got these discs you can throw 300 yards.
sure.
And
Yeah, you
so,
can
but they're
buy them
heavy.
at Dick's Sporting Goods.
But they're heavy, man. They're
Sure.
heavy, heavy as heck. But like that, I was just thinking, like, was bowling, was that ever an Olympic sport? Bowling?
I don't think so.
I mean, would you? I mean, I know we've talked about this before. Bowling, is it a sport?
Yeah, I think it's played worldwide. I would consider it a sport. I would, because there's a physical technique to it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a physical technique to it. Like that's the same thing I'm saying about cornhole, because there's a
Sure.
physical technique to it. Pickleball is for fucking old people with the gout, out there hitting a wiffle ball back and forth. I tell you something really funny about pickleball, really quick, is that my aunt is a very accomplished tennis player.
Oh, yeah.
Like played like semi-pro when she was younger. She's in her 70s now, and but if you even bring up pickleball to her,
She'll lose it.
she'd be
Yeah.
like, those fat motherfuckers don't need to be out there. They're gonna get hurt. It's
That's
just,
true.
and she's like, she's such an ambassador for the sport of tennis. That anything, and she's like, pickleball is like putt putt is to golf. That's what pickleball is to tennis. Like that, and I'm like, I don't know. They look like they're having fun. You can drink beer on the court. Yeah.
True.
I saw this one place where a guy's got a beer in his left hand, a racket in his right hand. That looks like a good time to me.
Okay. Yeah.
You know.
Well, so I got a couple trivia questions for you.
Okay.
That
Are we
involve.
done with the Olympic sports?
I mean, do you have any more?
I mean, breakdancing's in the Olympics, man.
Uh, yeah. That's like How super subjective is that? You know what I
I
mean?
don't know.
Like,
I don't know, but if you're gonna do that, you might as well put the most popular OnlyFans people in there and let them go at it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a trampolinist named Dong Dong. You didn't think you were getting out of this without me bringing up Dong Dong, did you?
No, I mean we're too close to the Summer Olympics.
Oh, dude, I can't wait. He better repeat, man. He needs to defend his title.
Silver medal or better, right?
Yeah, you got to defend. You got to show up on the Dong Dong.
Yeah, you got to.
It's Dong Dong, and then flip the channel over, watch Snoop Dogg and Kevin Hart talk about a shuttlecock.
I hope they do that again this year.
They're actually there's going to be a feed of them doing the opening ceremonies.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
dude,
that might be worth watching.
Yeah, it's gonna be must watch. And it's Paris, and I'm gonna make. You know what we should do? We should do a live feed of us doing the opening ceremonies, because I've got some stuff to say about the country of France.
I'll bet you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marquis de Lafayette. Anyhow, trivia. Sorry.
I have some sports trivia questions for you.
Okay, I've got some wrong answers for you.
And it's all sports. It's not just, but you're gonna know some of these.
Okay.
You'll know some of these.
Okay.
I'll give you a couple softies to begin with.
Okay.
What is the diameter of a basketball hoop in inches?
In inches?
Yeah.
Is it 15?
No. It's
Okay.
not 15.
All right,
18.
what is it? I was close.
All right. So here you go. The Olympics are held every how many years?
4.
Yeah. Okay. Here you go. What sport is best known as the king of sports?
The king of sports?
Mm-hmm.
I don't fucking know.
International.
Oh, soccer,
Yeah.
football, whatever you call it.
Here we talked about the sport earlier, but in bowling, when a bowler makes 3 strikes in a row, it is called a.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah, that's right. It's a turkey. Here's one I never would have gotten, but what is the national sport of Canada? And it's not hockey.
Curling.
Oh, I would have guessed that one. It is lacrosse.
Lacrosse.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't hockey.
Yeah.
I think somewhere along the line we've had that question before.
All right. How many dimples does an average golf ball have?
357.
Oh, you're close. 336.
Yeah,
336.
that question has been asked to me before. I knew it was 300 something.
Okay. The classic 1980 movie called Raging Bull is about which real life boxer?
Rocky Marciano.
Nope.
That's Rocky something.
Jake LaMotta.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yep. The Triple Crown Award is given to a horse that wins which 3 races?
The Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont Stakes.
Yep. 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 All right. In 1971, Nadia Comaneci was the first gymnast to score a perfect 10 in gymnastics. What country was she representing?
What was her name?
Nadia Comaneci.
Japan?
No.
China?
You don't remember this?
No.
Oh, man. Okay.
Do I strike you as somebody that it's must see TV for fucking gymnastics?
Well, at the time, it was groundbreaking that she scored a perfect 10.
Okay, so probably United States.
No, that was Mary Lou Retton, and she did score a perfect 10, but it didn't come till after.
Okay.
The name of the country is Romania.
Ah.
All right. Who has won more tennis Grand Slam titles? Oh, this is an easy one. Venus or Serena?
Venus. No, Serena. Sorry, Serena.
It is Serena. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Which boxer fought against Muhammad Ali and won?
Hang on, I'll get this. And one?
Yep. There's only one. I mean, there's a couple, but the one that is most memorable.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get this wrong. I know Ali beat him too. I don't know if the other guy beat him or not. Okay, it could be one of 3 people, so I'm gonna say all 3 of them. It's gonna be one of these 3. If it's not one of these 3, then I just don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's either. I don't think it's Sonny Liston.
Nope, it's not Sonny Liston.
Okay, so it's one of 2. I'm gonna go with Joe Frazier.
Oh man, that's a great guess, and you got it. Absolutely.
Okay. The other one I was going with was George Foreman.
Yeah, George lost to Ali and then never fought him again.
Right.
Frazier beat Ali the first time, and then Ali beat Frazier.
The down goes Frazier, the Howard Cosell call.
Everybody remembers that call.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Which golf tournament did Tiger Woods win by 12 strokes, cementing his first ever major championship win?
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Okay, and say it was the Masters. Yeah. 1997 Masters to be specific.
Yeah. How long is a marathon?
26.2 miles.
Yep. In what game?
Do you want to know why it's 26.2 miles?
Because that's the distance from. That's the
Athens,
distance the guy ran a marathon in Greece, right?
Right, to the city of Marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. In meters, how big is an Olympic-sized swimming pool?
In meters?
Mm-hmm. How big?
Well, an Olympic size. Yeah, smaller. 50.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yep. And then how wide?
Oh, it depends on what. I mean, it's not 25.
It is.
25? 25?
It's 25 wide, 50 long.
Okay.
I assume that means you only have, 8 lanes? 8 or 9 lanes, right?
Well, okay, so, like, if you take, like, the UNF Aquatic Center, right?
Mhm.
It's 25 yard. Typically, when it's 25, they do it in yards, and meters is 50. Yeah, so the long way is 50, and you can have. I think it is 8 lanes, but if you go 25, you can have like 15. Yeah, you can have it all the way down the damn pool into the diving well. Yeah, but that's just a college, aquatic center.
Yeah,
Gainesville's a little different because University of Florida's a tad bit larger than the University of North Florida.
true.
You know,
All right, here's one I would never have gotten, but I'm gonna guess you're gonna get. Okay, a
okay.
sporting event is held every year on Memorial Day. What is it?
A sporting event is held every on Memorial Day. That's a Monday. Oh, wow. I don't know.
It's the
I
Indy
mean,
500.
oh yeah.
Yep, 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 yep.
Damn it, man.
All right. Okay, in what year were women allowed to compete in the modern Olympic Games, and in what sport? Ooh, I'd never would have gotten this.
1940 something.
Nope.
Before that,
Yeah. Yep.
1880 something.
No, that's too soon.
1910.
1900. Can
Okay.
you name the sport?
Um, Toast making.
Come on now.
Um, Tennis. I
That
don't
is
know.
correct.
Yeah, wow, good guess.
Yeah. What is the only sport to be played on the moon?
Golf.
That is correct.
Yeah.
They played golf on the moon. Um, how old was Tiger Woods when he won the Masters for the first time?
I believe he 1997. Yeah, well, and it was April, so he's 21.
Yep.
His birthday is in December, and he was born the same year I was. So that's kind
Okay.
of easy.
Okay. Here we go. Here's one. How long is the free skate in figure skating?
Like in time,
Yeah.
is it 3 minutes?
Oh no. It's
Okay.
4.5 minutes for men.
Damn, that's a long fucking time.
Four.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially what they're doing. So, yeah. Oh, here's one you're gonna know. Okay. Who was the first president to throw the ceremonial first pitch at a Major League Baseball game?
Um, was Teddy Roosevelt?
No. It's before that.
When Woodrow Wilson was it?
No, it's before that.
Oh fuck.
Woodrow Wilson came before Teddy Roosevelt, or came after Teddy Roosevelt.
Herbert Hoover.
No.
Okay, let's go before that. Thomas Jefferson.
That's way before. Okay, so yeah, Taft.
Oh, fat boy.
Yeah, yeah, the big guy.
Yeah, fat boy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been ironic if it were Grover Cleveland,
Yeah,
But yeah, just saying.
would have. What NFL team was originally called the New York Titans?
I I don't know.
The Jets.
Jets. They suck.
Yeah, yeah. I think they'll be better this year.
They ain't got nowhere to go but up.
All right, last question.
All right.
How much does an NFL football weigh?
A human head weighs 8 pounds.
The answer is 16 ounces, 1 pound. Unless you're Tom Brady and you let some air out.
Unless you're playing New England.
You know what's funny is I just read an article that said that Tom Brady came out and said he would never do a Netflix roast again.
Yeah, because of how it affected his kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen who their next target is?
No, I haven't.
Tiger.
Well, he deserves it. Right.
Yeah. Can you imagine the people that would come out of the woodwork for that? I guarantee they get Phil.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be a what's the word? It'd be a bonanza.
Yeah, I mean they would. I mean, yeah, it wouldn't even be pretty. He's got too much ammunition at him.
Yeah.
All them damn women.
He would need to avoid that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah, just stay away.
They'd have to. They paid Tom Brady $25 million to do that. They would have to pay Tiger $100 million.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Further tarnishing is,
Yeah. Speaking of, real quick, I know we're up against it, but speaking of the PGA championships this weekend.
Indeed.
You
Uh,
know, little Valhalla.
yeah. It's in Kentucky, right?
It's not in Florida.
Valhalla Golf Course. I think it's in Kentucky, but I'll take a
Yeah.
look.
Okay.
Valhalla.
But it's a storied course.
Yeah, yeah. Valhalla
Yeah.
Golf Club, Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah, it's a very
No,
storied course,
hey,
actually,
hey, hey, hey. They hate it when you call their capital Louisville, like you just did.
because it
It's
should be
because
Frankfurt.
that's right. But I think the town is pronounced Louisville,
Oh, sure.
not
Okay.
not Louisville.
Yeah, you got to forgive me. I'm
Pretty
from the
pretty sure
north.
it's Louisville. You're not from the north. You're from the west.
Anything above the Mason-Dixon line is what I was told makes you
Okay,
a
yeah, yeah,
Yankee.
yeah. But see, what throws a wrench into that shit is the Mississippi River.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, and you're from what they call the left coast.
I'm not. Not
Well, I
anywhere
mean,
near the coast.
Wyoming's out there. It's like next
Wyoming's
to
more than a
fucking
thousand miles.
Colorado.
Wyoming's more than 1,000 miles from any coast.
Yeah, but it's like over the like how far is Sheridan, Wyoming from Denver, Colorado?
6.5 hours.
Okay, that's not far.
It's
We're
about
five and a half.
340 miles.
Yeah,
How far do you think Sheridan, Wyoming is from the Canadian border?
it's a second.
8 hours.
Yeah, it's a
So we're
second.
about as far from the Canadian border as we are from Denver. Okay.
All you are proving is that it's fucking cold there.
No,
You
I'm proving
know,
that it's north.
right? But then I mean, you don't consider Oregon a northern state; it's a
Sure I do.
western state,
It's northwest.
right?
So north,
Okay,
west.
you're like Midwest.
No, Midwest is Ohio, even though I think that's stupid.
Midwest. No, Ohio's like the breadbasket.
I know, but that's what
Ohio,
they consider
Pennsylvania.
Illinois, Ohio, Pennsylvania to be Midwestern states.
That's stupid.
I know. I
Midwestern
know.
is like Kansas.
I'm with you. Like I've always considered those states, the ones you're talking about, Wyoming, Montana.
Oklahoma is a
Yeah,
Midwestern
right.
state.
I've totally like on your side on that one. Like by actual descriptive purposes, yes, those are middle of the West, right?
Right.
But
A northern state is fucking Alaska.
okay, yeah, I mean Maine. I would say Maine. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Maine's a beautiful state if you've ever been. It's
I have.
really,
It's
really,
incredible.
really,
Really.
really. I went there in August one time. It's like 60 fucking degrees. It's
We
fucking
used to
great.
go there every summer on vacation.
Yeah.
Not we wouldn't go to Maine specifically. We'd go to New Hampshire for on vacation for most of the summer. My parents were teachers, and then we would spend a couple days in Maine,
Right.
and it was awesome.
Yeah.
It's also
So,
where they
hey,
filmed Jaws.
I just came across my phone. We were talking about this earlier that KJ&A had just put out a new episode. just came across my phone here. You know,
Well,
they
yeah,
just put out a new episode with apparently Matt and Friends Drink the Universe. You
nice.
know, or it said Matt and Friends, so I'm just speculating on who it was. But I thought that was funny since we were talking about that earlier. They seem to put out a new episode every other day, which is good. Yeah.
Hey, if you got the content to do, you should do it.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the PGA Championship. I'm looking forward to the baseball this weekend and gearing up. You know, it's kind of we're in kind of that stagnant period. You know, of we're getting out of the beginnings of baseball into the dog days and getting into June, but I know the NFL and the NHL playoffs are roaring on, and I would love to see the Nielsen ratings. I can't wait to see the Nielsen ratings after this round as we get into the conference finals in the NBA. You know,
Yeah, it's weird because they have all these new teams that didn't used to be any good. They're
right?
good now, like the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. I mean, who roots for the Timberwolves? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I've ever met a person who was an actual like, oh, I was born a Timberwolves fan. You know what I mean? Or the
Mm-hmm.
Thunder. There are no Thunder fans outside of Oklahoma City, hardly. You know what I mean? Like, I am a Thunder fan, but I lived in Oklahoma City. You know what I mean? Like, there are no like worldwide Oklahoma City Thunder fans. Okay.
Well, I'm pulling for the Florida Panthers in the NHL. Yeah, that's who I'm pulling for. Am I a bandwagon fan? Fuck yeah. Yeah,
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pulling for the Florida Panthers because it seems that they haven't won much lately. And I would love to see the attendance of NHL hockey in Miami.
Yeah. Go
They
up.
got the Heat's old stadium.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I don't even think they hold concerts there anymore.
Yeah.
It's just ice and arena league football.
Speaking of Miami, how are the
Yeah.
Marlins this year? I didn't even keep track of that. I know the Red
So
Sox are about to lose an extra innings.
So the Marlins are probably the fourth worst team in Major League Baseball, and this is the
Surprise,
team that
surprise.
made the playoffs last year
Right.
and lost to the Phillies
Yeah.
in the first round. But they're not quite as bad as the Rockies, but they're bringing up the rear of the NL East.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd tell you this: when the NL East, the Phillies and the Braves are going to duke it out all year. They're going to flip flop first and second. They're both juggernaut teams, but surprisingly, the Mets are not in third place. The Washington Nationals are.
Mm.
Yeah, so they're having a pretty good start with a no-name team there in the nation's capital. I do want to remind our friends over at the Story of podcast, as well as the With Jay Burke podcast, that the Atlanta Braves took 2 or 3 from the New York Mets and damn near no hit you last weekend. I didn't know if you remembered that or if you blocked it out from your memory.
I'm
But
sure Frank the Tank did.
he lost his shit. But he's more paying more attention to the Knicks right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if I were a Mets fan too, I would pay more attention to something other than the Mets because
Nice to see the Knicks playing good. I mean, I'm not a Knicks fan, but it's one of those franchises, that you'd like to see do well every now and again.
Oh, I heard two great trivia questions today. One's very easy. I'm gonna ask you the easy one first, okay? And then we'll move on from this episode. Uh, can you name the professional sports town where all their professional sports teams wear the same colors?
Um, so you're saying there's multiple sports in the town?
I'll give you the sports. They have a Major League Baseball team, they have an NFL football franchise, and an AHL team. And they all wear the same colors.
Hmm. I want to say, why? That's New York.
No,
Well, I
no,
was thinking the Mets, the Rangers,
no. The
and
Rangers
the
are red, white, and
Giants.
blue.
Well, right,
The
but
Mets are
well,
orange and blue. Mets are orange and blue.
yeah. I mean, they're close. Maybe Chicago. I don't know.
No,
All right, what
the
are they?
the Bulls wear red, dude.
Black,
Yeah.
black and
Now,
red. The Bears are black and red,
now
and
the
the
Bears
Chicago
are
White
orange
Sox
and
are.
the Bears are orange and blue.
Oh, I always for whatever reason
They're
I always thought the Bears were like
no.
kind of a
The Bears are
lighter
orange and blue. The
black.
White Sox are black and white. The Bulls are red and black. But I mean, the Cubs, are kind of blue.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know. Now,
Okay.
if you think about it, okay, the Pittsburgh Steelers black and gold. The Pittsburgh Pirates black and gold. The Pittsburgh Penguins black and gold.
Okay.
And white in there. The answer is Pittsburgh. Okay, here's the hard trivia question. I had to think about it for a second. Can you name the six newest Major League Baseball franchises?
6 newest.
Correct.
You got it.
Four
Arizona,
of them are easy.
Arizona,
Yep.
Colorado,
Yep.
Miami,
Yep.
uh, um, Nationals.
No, that they moved. They were the Montreal Expos.
Okay, so you're saying expansion franchises.
Correct. The newest franchises.
What do I got? I got 3. I got the Rockies. I got the Diamondbacks. I've got the Marlins.
All right.
Um,
You're missing a team that came in with the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember I thought it was the Marlins that came with the Diamondbacks,
No, the
but
Marlins came up with the Rockies, 94.
hmm.
Diamondbacks came in 98, and with this other team. You're going to feel real dumb when I tell you what it is.
I am. I'm gonna feel really stupid. Because I thought it was the Nationals, but
No.
um, man, I don't know. I
Are you looking it up?
I just need to know the teams. I can't remember
Okay.
all 30 teams.
Okay.
Major League Baseball teams. Man, I would have said, yeah, I'm looking at all of them and I don't see any names that really stand out.
Let me
It's not
ask
the
you.
Nationals.
Let me ask you. Who did the Red Sox play tonight?
Oh, Tampa Bay, of course. For sake. I'm never gonna get the other. Kansas City,
Nah, the other two.
Seattle,
Seattle is one of them. Yes, and then another team came in with Seattle.
Texas.
No,
That's gonna be a National League team, right?
no, it's
So,
American League team.
somebody came in with Texas.
Yeah,
Oakland
Amer- no, American League East.
Blue Jays.
The Toronto Blue Jays,
Yeah.
1977.
Hmm. Okay. Well,
I
I
thought
got
that
I
was
got a
it.
handful of them.
I
That's a
I
hard
love the
question.
trivia questions that I'm like I should get this, and it just makes me think, and then I like the first four I got right away because I remember them coming in, and I mean you get the two Florida teams and then the two teams out in the middle of fucking nowhere,
Right.
in Denver and Phoenix, but so I what's going on finding your way this week?
Oh, you're gonna have to tune in and find out.
Okay, all right,
I got the
Vegas
script
always,
already. I got everything ready to
sweet,
go.
sweet Vegas
Um,
always.
I think we should give a round of applause to the Sleepy G show for chiming in tonight.
Absolutely. Go check out Sleepy G. He's got great guests on his show. He's the only person chiming in. He's the reason I didn't go off on you motherfuckers tonight. You know, you know, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
We also
You
didn't
get
have a
so
ton of listeners tonight, so they
yeah.
must have
I mean,
known. They must have known St. Joe wasn't going to be here.
yeah. Maybe you wouldn't think that St. Joe would be the draw.
Oh, he's the
But
draw.
but
He's the big
apparently
show.
apparently he is the draw. He's the Mac Daddy of the Catholic folk. But anyhow, thank you, Sleevy, for making my head not blow up. We appreciate that because I just get worked up with these people that just be looking, and then just not they don't even say hi. It's like inconsiderate.
Totally.
So you're not gonna tell me what's going on finding your way.
No, you're gonna have to tune in and find out.
I always tune in, man.
I know.
Okay. Well, we're plugging along through a bunch of video games.
Dude, I love them.
Dude.
I love the Stupid History Minute right now.
So
Absolutely.
so I don't know if you caught the other day, but we did Zork.
No, I haven't got that one yet.
Okay, Zork is kind of a DOS-based game, kind of like the Oregon Trail,
Yeah.
made in the '70s. And it was made popular by a show called The Big Bang Theory. I don't know if you've heard, but I fucking love that show.
Yeah.
And anyhow, so today was a very popular episode, Space Invaders.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so we'll go back and forth between retro games and the games people play now. I mean, for the people, I just got a message about an hour before we started this, going, "Hey man, are you gonna do Final Fantasy?"
You already did
yeah,
them, did you?
has it come out yet? Final Fantasy?
I think it's
Did
come
I do
out.
that?
Yeah.
Has it come out yet?
I think so.
Maybe World of Warcraft hasn't come out.
Mm.
But I mean, if you're waiting for the ones that I always talk about, they're going to be at the end. You know, and I got another message going, oh man, can we do Minecraft? Minecraft's not a fucking game. You
It
know,
is, dude. It is the number one game in the world.
it's digital Legos.
You do know that, right? You
I
know it's
do.
the number one game in the world, right?
Dude,
It's not even
I
close.
recorded a stupid history minute on it. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
You know, but a Tetris it will never be.
Okay.
You know, Tetris is a thinking man's game.
Okay.
You know, but just for you, I did put Call of Duty in there. Has that come out yet?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, it's done. Yeah, it's
Okay.
done. But for all the people who are like, oh, what's he going to do to video games? I don't like video games. Well, we got something for you next month. Okay? It's something that everybody will identify with. No matter if you like video games or you don't like video games. We got a series next month everybody can identify with, unless you live in a hole in the ground.
Mm.
I'm very
All right.
excited about it. Very excited about it. Anyhow, so listen to Find Your Way. Nailed it on Monday. Who knows what he's gonna have, cooking for you, if anything at all. I don't. He's kind of MIA.
Right.
It's like the first day in like months that I haven't spoken to St. Joe.
Also, I texted him.
Yeah,
Yeah. Also listen to Sleepy G.
yeah. Sleepy G show. I believe this comes out on Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
Which is today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So. And listen to all our friends over at unifpod.com. I shout out to Mama D. She's got some sleepovers coming up. I may or may not have recorded with her last night. We had a great conversation. So look forward to those coming out. The only reason I say that is because she released an episode today, or today being Tuesday, that she has the sleepovers coming up. So. Anyhow, so if you have an opportunity to talk to her, that's good. It's a great show to be on. So go listen to all of our friends over at unifpod.com. Beebs is yawning, so we're going to get out of here. We enjoyed our St. Joe-less time, tonight. But we look forward to next week when he comes back and we don't have to talk as much, So,
True.
For the aforementioned St. Joe, who's not here, for Beebs, my name's Kev. And we'll catch you guys next week.
Catch you on the flippity flop.